New general licences in Wales are bad news for rare birds and worse news for farmers. From the 1st of July 2022, Welsh shooters face new restrictions on how they can protect livestock, crops and carry out conservation work. Natural Resources Wales has removed magpies, jays and jackdaws from its new general licences, which are lists of what can be shot.
Well, there's a lot of people talking about it and they feel very frustrated. It just feels like a little bit more red tape, more problems. We've got massive amounts of corvids in this area, and I think they are a real problem that need to be addressed. And by really helping to protect them, it's not going to do any iota of a difference to be helping our wildlife and our ground nesting birds and a lot of other things. I really believe magpies are the major problem. They're an absolutely amazing machine. They're killers, they're natural born killers, predators. And I think that's why we've got such a loss in our songbirds and farm birds as well. We have to take control, and these licences aren't going to help with that situation at all.
The licence introduces a season which effectively classes vermin and pest birds the same as game birds. You can only shoot crows from the beginning of February to the end of August. BASC has been advising the Welsh Government on the changes.
I think they're pretty devastating for conserving wild birds in Wales. Welsh Government are really pushing sort of red and amber listed, and then they do this and sort of it makes it more difficult.
The new licences contain a table specifically outlining which birds you can control for which purpose. For example, you can shoot carrion crows to prevent serious damage to livestock and livestock feedstuffs, but not to prevent serious damage to crops, fruits or vegetables.
And it's really important we can make a difference, because at the end of the day, however we look at it, we're at the top of the food chain. And when they sit in their ivory towers making policies, they need to listen to these people. And we can give you data, we can show you what we've done up here. You can see what the difference is when you protect nature. 30 odd years ago, my father stopped everybody shooting hares on his farm because he could see the numbers were going down. And he said, and he told anybody that was coming here, if he caught them shooting any hares, they would never come here shooting again. And I can go onto the top of them Frithod now and I can see 16, 20 hares, in an evening. It's beautiful to see. And that's how we can do it. We have to work together. We have to educate each other, because there's some great environmentalists out there as well that can help us. I've worked with some of them, and the farmer and the country people are not the problem. They are the solution. But they have to have help, and they have to have government funding as well. These people are so important to keep that natural balance in our countryside, and then our birds and our wildlife will thrive.
If you want to carry out pest bird control, which is not covered in any of the general licences, you'll need a specific licence from NRW.
One of the things that we're sort of like engaging with NRW at the moment is to make them easier. So they need to be more user friendly for people in Wales. And that's the main difficulty at the moment. Nobody's quite sure what evidence you want. Do they want films? Do they want photographs? The timeline of when you find that you've got a problem, you want to control birds straight away. You don't want to wait for up to 30 days.
Shooters fear the new licences are the latest example that the Welsh Government isn't supporting Fieldsports and is deaf to concerns over the conservation impact of stopping predator control.
I don't think they're listening to the people that are working the land. They need to start to listen to the people that are out there doing these jobs on a daily basis, and they are part of our rural communities. And if anything, government should be backing gamekeepers in local areas. They should be paying people to go around and bring down the number of pests. we were very fortunate in 2006 to set up the first ever Aber and Llanfechan Grazier Society with 22 farmers, and we saw some money out of Europe. But what we did as well, we had money then to pay people to come and shoot foxes on the mountain. It's 27,000 acres, it's a vast area, you can never cover it all, and we're seeing the number of grouse coming back and other bird life because we've taken down, you know, their biggest predator, the fox. We brought that number down. We never will eradicate them, but you know, we have to keep the number to a healthy minimum.
Fears are growing that Welsh Government policies towards Fieldsports are becoming increasingly hostile. There is the possibility of a change in the law around the use of hounds, and the Welsh Government openly states that it does not support live quarry shooting as a leisure activity. Many are concerned the Welsh Government is politically opposed to the countryside and is planning more bans and restrictions.